Okay, so you've made the body of your blanket for your beautiful Ruby Baby puff blanket, and now you want to square the whole thing off and put on a border. Now, for my blanket, this one was made using Colour Crafter, I used the same colour that I started and ended my blanket on to do the border edge and the straightening up. So on my little sample here from the last video, if this was my blanket and this was my colorway, I would be using the pink to square this off and put on the border. Just like, I know it's incredibly dark and difficult to see, but that way you disguise pretty much everything really. But there is nothing worse than watching a border video where you can't really clearly see where to put stitches. So instead of using the pink, I'm going to switch to another colour so you can clearly see exactly what I'm doing to square this up. I just wanted to show you on my actual blanket that I made for myself how you can't really see what I did to straighten this up because I use the same colour. And this dark polar grey goes all the way around. This blanket's so huge I can't get it all in shot. But it is the same all the way around and you cannot see. And the bottom of my blanket is the same of this dark grey. So enough chatter. I'm going to go ahead and show you how you straighten up and get your blanket ready for whatever border it is that you want to put on. Okay, so I've made a small sample of the blanket. Obviously yours will be much larger. I've sort of vaguely woven in my ends. I haven't done a particularly great job. So when you have finished all your color changes, if you have any, then make sure you securely weave in all your ends. Yeah, don't leave them hanging like I have. So as I said in the little intro, if this was my full blanket, I'd be finishing off in pink. However, it's not. So rather than doing another row, I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the pink here from my sample. My little stitch marker in here. I'm just going to chain one and very quickly just fasten off that end. So with the right side of your blanket facing you, if I was using pink, I would be obviously chaining and turning. I'd chain one and turn so I was ready to go, and this would therefore be the front of my blanket. So what I'm going to do is, because I ended it in pink over here, I'm just going to bring in some grey as a contrast colour so you can see what I am doing. So I'm just going to join it to this very last stitch over here that I just did. Just going to pop a slip knot on my hook and bring it through. So I am ready. So we can just pretend I'm using pink. Okay, so to start, chain one, and you're going to put 3 single crochets all into that same stitch, which forms your very first corner. So you've got 3 single crochets all into that same stitch. Now we're going to work on filling in this dip. So in the next stitch, pop a single crochet. In the next, half double crochet, just yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, come back through. You've got 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. You're going to pop another half double crochet into the next stitch. So we've got single crochet, half double crochet, half double crochet. Now you're going to pop a double crochet into the next. We're working into each single stitch each time, and then another double crochet, single, half, half, double, double. Now we're going to work our way back up. In the next 2 stitches, put a half double crochet in each. Now you're going to put a single crochet into the top of your puff stitch, just like we were doing on all these puff stitch sections. Just a single crochet, single crochet into the chain 2 space, and then single crochet into the top of your next puff. So you can see by working a mixture of short to tall and then back up again, we're squaring off this dip in the ripple. So just like before, half double, half double, 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 half, half, single crochet into the puff, single crochet into the chain 2 space, single crochet into the next puff. I will write it all on screen for you. So keep doing that all the way until the very end over here. Sorry, is that a shot? Where you're going to end with 3 single crochets in that very last stitch to mirror what you did in the very first one to form another corner. So you keep going, filling in half double, 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 half, half, single, 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 all the way along, and I will meet you over here. So to half double crochet evenly down the sides, we're going to be putting 2 half double crochets in each row as you go down the line. So it's nice and easy to see if you've been changing colour. If you haven't, just pay close, careful attention to where you're putting your half double crochets. So 2 in each as you go down the side. Now this first one can be a bit of a pain to try and get into. And then I'm going to do this beige row. Pink row. Now I'm just kind of being a little bit rough and ready for the sake of this tutorial. You of course can choose your placement a lot more carefully than I am, but I'm just going down the side, putting 2 half double crochets into each row. This is exactly what I did on my bubble puff border as well. When you get down to the end here, you've got one more little row to pop in your half doubles. Then we're going to work along the bottom edge. So rotate your work, and as similar to what we did to the top, we have to fill in these ripples. So for the bottom row, if you are unsure of where to be putting your very first sort of stitch, you can count back from your first chain 2 space. Now, including the chain 2 space, you want to count back 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this 5th one just beforehand is where you're going to place your very first set of stitches. So count the chain spaces 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to be popping our stitches in here. So in your first stitch, you're going to put 3 single crochets to form another corner. like so. Then over the next 2 stitches, see, this is where I worked into the back bump so I can clearly see my stitch tops. You're going to put a half double crochet. Now this is a bit more tricky to get into, so apologise for me being a bit rougher with my crochet, but a half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. That's 1. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So try and force my hook in here. That's 2. So you've got your 3 single crochet forming a corner, half double crochet, half double crochet. Then you're going to pop a single crochet into the next stitch. Two single crochets into your chain 2 space. Single crochet into the next. And now we're going to fill in the dip. So over the next lot of stitches, you're going to do half double crochet, half double crochet, double, double, half, half. So half double crochet first. Then your doubles. Then your half double crochets. Then single crochet, 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space, single crochet, and repeat that all the way along until your last 3 stitches. Again, I'll write it all here so you can see the stitch sequence. So I'm just popping in my last single crochet here, and I've got 3 stitches left of this sort of bottom row. So to end this bottom, you're going to put a half double crochet, a half double crochet, and then 3 single crochets right into that very last stitch to form a corner. I'm going to be working up this final side, and just like over here, we're going to do half double crochets evenly up the side of your blanket back to the beginning where you started. So just like before, 2 half double crochets in each row. So when you've done your last 2 double crochets, you're going to slip stitch to the first of your 3 single crochets that you did right at the very beginning. And now you have your basis for putting on a border. Now the border Claire suggests is, I believe it's single crochet and then a row of slip stitches. For, if I just bring back in my large blanket, for mine, I think I did three rows of single crochet. I just kept going round and round and round until I felt the border wasn't too wide but wasn't too skinny. So from this point I would recommend doing a row of single crochet. You could put on the scalloped border that I used on my bubble puff blanket if you fancy sort of like a scallop shells border. I will link to that video so you can see, because it's a very similar setup premise. Just whatever border you go on to put on, just in the corners of your 3 single crochet, make sure that you're putting, especially for this next base row, if you were to go and do a round of single crochet like I did on mine here, that in the second stitch of those 3 single crochets, that you put 3 single crochet in to form, keep a corner, because if you just keep going round, it's all just going to sort of curl in on itself. So whatever you go on to do, a round of single crochet, a round of 3 or 4 single crochets like I did, just single crochet in every stitch along, and when you get to the corner, form a new corner with 3 single crochets. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed making your Ruby baby blankets. I'd like to take this moment to give a massive thank you to Claire from Cherry Blossom Crochet for allowing me to make this video of her amazing pattern. All the information and all the links, as always, all the timestamps, you name it, they're all there in the description box below. So click that little arrow to expand it, and there's loads of information down there for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to shout and I will do my best to answer them. But until then, I will see you again for another crochet tutorial over on my channel, and happy crocheting!